Test one, test two, test three. Can you guys hear me? Cool. I want a torrent or Godzilla -1 to come out. It's been a couple of days with the international release. Can there be a cam or a screener? Pretty please. Nyan. Leak torrents. Pirate Bay. I don't care. Someone just leak the goddamn movie. I hate you. The nearest showing for me is in fucking Toronto. Fucking Toronto. That's like a 10-hour drive. I ain't driving 10 hours to watch a movie in the middle of goddamn winter. Okay. 40 kilometers I could tolerate. Hour there, hour back. I would tolerate an hour. Okay, let's get to the news to raise my blood pressure proper. Okay, from oilprice.com. Could coal mines become a critical part of renewable energy boom? Now, the long and short of this is it's one half ha 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 ESG crap. Green technologies ain't doing so good, and a lot of countries are crawling back to coal. This is funny. But the other half, which is the crux of this article, is that apparently, funny how things work, life is funny sometimes, apparently, coal deposits are associated with rare earth element deposits. So if you have coal in an area, there's a good chance you'll have rare earth elements. So it means that a lot of coal mines that got closed, if you go in there and do some exploration drilling and stuff, you might be able to find rare earth elements and give these mines a new lease on life. This is funny to me. This is fucking poetic justice on the level I haven't seen in years. Yeah, so pretty much it's just going over the geopolitics of China pretty much has the world by the balls when it comes to rare earth elements and stuff because they don't give a shit about environmental concerns and stuff, so they just rape and pillage to mine rare earth elements and stuff. So if a lot of Western countries come online with rare earth slash coal mines, it would release them from their stranglehold and stuff, and it would be a more level playing field, especially from a geopolitical defense point of view. The global demand for the joke has made. I've heard that joke more than once. It never gets old. But I don't know. Just the fact that rare earth elements are associated with coal deposits, like God has a sense of humor. I have to admit, God has a sense of humor. I love it. A Vermont Christian school is suing after being banned from sporting tournaments because they refuse to let a male play against their girls' team. So pretty much this Catholic Christian school, they got banned in their sports league because they refused to pit their girl team against another team that had a tranny on them, and they're going to court to fight it out, which is good. You can hem and haw and protest and push back, but no one's going to give a shit until they eat crow in terms of a major multi-million-dollar settlement. That's the only way these fuckers will learn, and that's the only language they understand. is getting kicked in the teeth via the legal system. Oh yeah, and this article also mentions the Alliance Defending Freedom (ADF). Uh, it's don't confuse it with the ADL. The Anti-Defamation League are a bunch of assholes, but the Alliance Defending Freedom, the ADF, these guys are fun. I've read a lot of news articles from these guys over the years and stuff, where they'll take these like little David and Goliath cases, and they have a good track record of wrecking shit as far as putting the leftist mob in their place. I love these guys. Fucking Rohan coming in. It's very on point. I like these guys. I'm looking forward to how this case pans out. The guy who stabbed Derek Chauvin 22 times in prison did it for the BLM movement and was a former FBI informant, according to the LA Times. Kershey kind of glazed over this the other day and stuff, and yeah, it is exactly as it's written. The guy glows. The guy who actually stabbed the cop that was in prison for necking. Necking the guy. He glows because he was an informant, and he had the audacity to make a show of it by doing it on Black Friday for the cause, as it were. This whole thing glows because putting the cop in general population and effectively turning their back and saying. Here's what gets me. They played in this prison the documentary involving this guy, and they put him in general pop. They knew exactly what they were doing, and the fact that it was one of the glowies that was in the prison that did it. It's like it's almost as bad. It's almost as bad as Epstein. No one's buying what you're selling. It's just. It's so fucking lazy. Everyone knows what you're doing. Yeah, secret police assassinate prisoners they don't want to ask. Yeah, I know. Uh, okay. Politician wants Irish rioters to be shot in the head. Rioters paint Irish Lives Matter on the wall. Guess which one has BBC coverage and hate charge? So yeah, I remember when this year we all saw the picture make the rounds of Irish Lives Matter. They tried to crack down on that, saying it was hate speech because Irish is Schrodinger's ethnicity. It's like they're either white or they're not sometimes with these guys. But apparently, let's see. Deputy mayor, a deputy mayor said all these deplorables, these Irish deplorables, should be shot in the head for protesting an Algerian immigrant who went on a stabbing spree with a deadly knife against women and children. Fuck this cunt. Fuck him. Ship him back to where he came from. He doesn't look Irish. Ship him back. Yeah, and calling out the BBC how they don't care about this guy's call to violence, but they'll call out graffiti saying Irish Lives Matter. And yeah, clown world, except no substitution. Let's see. Oh, this year really tickled me. Public urination is literally eroding Baltimore's historic buildings, and I don't think I could come up with a better metaphor for the fall of civilization. Yeah. So here's the thing. Your piss is slightly acidic. Do that in a large enough volume over a long enough time, you're going to erode rock. Now imagine a place like San Francisco. Well, in this case, it's Baltimore, but imagine like a Democrat city, especially if the building's made of limestone. That there does not like acidity whatsoever. So pissing and shitting everywhere and stuff. You're actually destroying the literal infrastructure. Yeah, construction pre-1945 tended to use soft brick and mortar, which is susceptible to water erosion, and a steady stream of acidic urine is only exacerbating the problem. And, yep. I don't know. Old Euro buildings, aka 1700s, had piss deflectors. I believe that. I believe that. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, I like this line. They are figuratively and literally peeing away Western civilization. I have to laugh. I find this hilarious, but I have to laugh or else I'm going to cry because that's literally the case. Ugh. Act like a monkey, get treated like a monkey. I would make a spank the monkey joke, but I would rather just shoot the monkey at this point. Okay. Oh, Chief Cunt herself. Hillary Clinton claims extreme heat has killed 500 million people. Okay, this is looping back to the eternal subject, which I've decided to die on the hill of, which is the death cult known as global climate change. And this bench decided to pull figures out of her ass, which is what she usually does, and saying that, thousands and thousands of deaths, and of course they're mostly women and girls, yada yada yada. And this here kind of caught me off guard. So apparently with COP 38 or 20, COP 28, climate, I forget what this here stupid thing is. It's a stupid environmental climate meeting that all the rich elites go to pat themselves on the back and decide how they're going to carve up the world every year and stuff. John Kerry and a bunch of other people went here, but this here bent here, Annie Merivili, or whatever her name, apparently she's a chief heat officer. And of course, everyone's kind of like, what the fuck is a heat officer? Which I assume is some made up secretary position and stuff to pad her resume and like, oh, I'm actually doing something. Yeah, it's give me money. Yeah, it's like, oh, fuck off. Which is kind of actually, I think I might have a tab open on this here, but it's kind of funny that all these elites were flying. A good chunk of these elites were flying out of packing heat. I assume, yeah. No, her guards are packing heat. They don't like guns. They want their guards and they want their guard dogs to have guns and packing heat. Heaven forbid they carry their own gun. Where was my train of thought? Yeah, so a bunch of these elite twits were flying out of Germany, and apparently Germany got hit by a giant fuck off snowstorm and grounded a bunch of them, leaving to the desert, which is kind of funny. It's like, can you imagine? Oh, haha. Can you imagine if they were to have this climate change meeting in Germany right now, which is getting blizzard of the century and stuff? Imagine the optics. Like, here's the thing. This year meeting's down in Dubai, and they have to go to the fucking desert for the sake of optics. Can you imagine having a global, like a climate change meeting in the middle of a blizzard? The optics of that would be hilarious. So, of course, they have to go to a fucking desert. But the fact they have to fly to that desert on their private jets, but their private jets get grounded by a fucking blizzard. It's beautiful. It's poetic. God, I love this place. Okay. Next. The responsibility to not report. Irish journalists defend suppressing stories for the public good. Okay, this here got my blood boiling a bit. So with the Irish riots going around and stuff, and the politicians and their lapdogs, that is to say, mainstream media, are trying to crack down on the information. You know, like ever since the internet was invented, the genie was out of the bottle. They were never going to have total control of the narrative ever again. But that's not to say they're not going to try, or they haven't tried, or will continue to try until reality slaps them in the face and they're all in the ditch with a bullet to the back of the head. So, Katie Holland, a correspondent with the Irish Times, is defending the media's decision to suppress stories that would incite hatred and undermine journalistic viewpoints. This is kind of what gets me. Undermining journalistic viewpoints. Motherfucker, you were the one undermining journalistic viewpoints. No one trusts journalism anymore. There's a chart coming up in my tabs are on here somewhere, of the public's perception of trust in the media. So, spoiler alert, it's an all-time low. It's because of the cunts like this. They're like, we know what's better for you. We are going to tell you what to think. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. Yes, so we've seen this for years at this point and stuff, in that the quote-unquote journalists, I don't want to call them journalists because they're a bunch of fucking propagandists. All the propagandists are coming out of quote-unquote universities right now. Consider being impartial to be a detriment, because they want to sell you something. They want to sell you the message. They want to be advocates for their little pet projects. All pet projects lead to communism, but let's not talk about that. So these twits declare all journalism is activism. And that's not what it's supposed to be. If you keep trying to feed people bullshit, and they catch you on that repeatedly, they're going to stop buying what you're selling. And eventually, much like a lot of businesses that are going the way of the dodo now, you're going to go out of business, along with the rest of them. I'm a biased journalist, and I'm okay with that. A typical journal. Yeah. That's why no one trusts them anymore. I know some old farts in my neighborhood who used to swear to God, would be like, swear by the CBC. The CBC could do no wrong. But then they see with their lying eyes the reality of what's going on. And they're like, wait a minute. That's not what happened. Oh, I'm being fed bullshit. Okay. Better late than never, but, you know, when Granny and Grandpa start waking up, you know you've done fucked up. When the normies wake up, you're gonna pray. Pray that you even get, like, the Vlad the Impaler treatment and stuff, because they're gonna come for you, and they're gonna remember, and they're gonna be angry. Oh god, more of this bullshit. Okay. Inflation is your fault and other self-loathing liberal lies. Now, the long and short of this here is that The Atlantic, which is a fucking rag of a newspaper, had an article saying inflation is your fault, and they went into a bunch of bullshit of why quote-unquote inflation was your fault. And by your fault, they mean you filthy white males, and you poor people, and you middle class whiteys. That was the crux of this article. And the hill they decide to die on is that if people are so mad about high prices, why do they keep buying so many expensive things? Well, motherfucker, because everything is goddamn expensive because of inflation. You know, when everything is expensive, all you end up is buying expensive shit because everything is expensive. Can you see where the logic follows? Okay? Like technology, like TVs and phones and games and shit, like the circuses of bread. Okay, here's the funny thing: the circus portion of bread and circuses are an all-time low. TVs and games and stuff are cheap. Supply issues notwithstanding, relatively speaking, they are cheap. However, the bread portion of that equation of bread and circuses is fucking expensive. Yeah, just stop buying food, duh. That's what these motherfuckers want. Again, you are the carbon they want to get rid of. If things are expensive, why don't you just stop buying things? Wow, really destroying me. Facts and logic. Yeah. Yeah. Again, this is what pisses me off. It's that the arguments, like these motherfuckers are so lazy. Their arguments are lazy. Like a new Sargon of a cat could come out around right now and punch down on these easy targets because they are so fucking lazy and so fucking stupid. It is shooting fish in a barrel. And these are the arguments they're trying to own you with. It's so fucking absurd. Blah, 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 blah. Oh yeah, speaking of finances. In blow to Uber, Grubhub, and DoorDash, court rules food delivery gig workers must be paid at least $17.96 an hour. For the record, this is in New York. But when it comes to the American economy, California and New York specifically lead the markets. So if they're doing stupid shit, imagine that it's a matter of time when that stupid shit gets rolled out to the rest of the states. And we've seen this shit before, like the fight for 15 that was really popular for a few years and stuff suddenly and magically went away when all these self-serve kiosks and all these warehouse robots started rolling out. Like I went to Walmart a few days ago and I saw no less than 3 cleaning robots. Okay? 3 robots. They're replacing people who fight for 15 or want their quote-unquote minimum wage. Spoiler alert, the minimum wage is 0. It's always been 0, will always be 0, no matter what they say. And the fruits are being born right now. Oh, you want to raise the minimum wage? Okay, we're going to fire you and replace you with robots. Same thing goes with the DoorDash and Grubhub guys. It's like, oh, okay, you want a minimum wage? Okay, well, we're going to replace you with drones. I've already seen test projects for drone deliveries and stuff in certain markets. Amazon did that a few years ago. They ran a bunch of tests for last mile drone delivery and stuff. In a place that's really tight like New York, I can see drone food deliveries take off. I can see it. So it's like don't call it a grave. You dug the hole. Least you can do is lie down in it. Okay, this is we're going into full glowy territory. This shit glows. I'm not surprised, but it does glow. Moderna employs former FBI analysis and AI to secretly police COVID vaccine misinformation. Now, here's the funny thing. Moderna was a nobody company. Like, Moderna did not exist until COVID. once they had their quote unquote vaccine out and stuff, they went on the map and became a multi-billion-dollar company literally overnight. And with all that money, they bought a bunch of information officers. Now this is dystopian level shit. Okay, they got people coming from like the FBI and the CIA and stuff coming to work for them and to massage the message, saying, "Oh, all these quote unquote anti-vaxxers and all this quote unquote misinformation. We need to crack down on that there because that cuts down on our bottom line." And you hear people say that the politics and the military industrial complex, and now the information industrial complex, and now the medical industrial complex is all one giant fucking revolving door. And it's shit like this here. It's like, yep, I see it. It's right there. Fucking ex-FBI guys running gay ops, literal gay ops, for a giant pharmaceutical company. That shit's scary. Yeah, and because and it's like Moderna and like Pfizer and these other giant pharmaceutical companies, they're literally an umbrella corporation. They have so many fucking lawyers, and they're legislating and litigating a shit ton of stuff, and it's fucking scary. And since the since the the pandemic is slowing down because people are saying enough and stuff, their bottom line, their profits are dwindling and stuff. They're raising prices on their vaccines, and they're finding alternate revenue cash flows. And I don't know, this is scary shit. Like literal Resident Evil level evil shit. Ugh. Okay, this ties back to the COP28 climate meeting. So Europe in deep freeze as Kerry warns of rampant global warming, which was, I do like this picture. Like the world will end in 1984, 1990, 2000, 2008, 2014, 2030. That like there's a reason. There's a reason why I consider these climate nuts a death cult. Like they are an apocalypse death cult. And every time the rapture doesn't happen, they have to push back the date. It's funny. Because that's literally what they are. They are a fucking death cult. And of course, this is shaping up to be one of the coldest winters on record and stuff. And my God, it's slapping them in the face when their planes get frozen in Germany, and I don't know. I just love it. No, they can't fool me. The world already ended in 2012. We had a movie as evidence. Yeah, and they even had T-shirts. Blah blah blah. Okay, I got reminded. Here's one talking point they usually have. It's like, okay, it's cold because there's a polar vortex, and the polar vortex is happening because it's warm. This has never really held up and stuff. It's one of those things where they're trying to have their cake and eat it too. Oh, global warming is going to kill us all. Okay, it's colder now. Well, it's colder because of global warming, and it's going to kill us all. It's like, motherfucker, you can't have it both ways. If you're gonna go on a lie, stick with one lie and stick to one lie only. Don't try to have it both ways. That shit does not work. Christ, I hate incompetent people. Yeah, like this fucking yeah, like this fuck Yeah, see, meanwhile, still don't need heat as it keeps around 5 degrees. Sometimes no. Ah, that's nice. I've been hearing about the Netherlands being taken by the sea since the fucking 90s. I still don't have my seafront property. Okay. I said this before and I'll say it again. Is anthropogenic climate change a thing? Yes. Is anthropogenic climate change the end of the world? No. Does carbon dioxide affect climate? Yes. Does this affect it more than the sun or the position of the planet? God, no. Oh, hell no. But again, you have to remember this was never ever about the environment. This is about control. It's about fear and control. That's all it's ever been. It is a fucking scam. Speaking of scams, DNA sequence in Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine could spur new lawsuits. Lawyers. The long and short of this is that there are genetic okay, you have to remember these vaccines aren't vaccines. They're not vaccines. They are gene therapy. And these gene therapies were legislated in every single government on the planet so that you couldn't sue these companies for adverse effects, which was the first and major and only thing I needed to hear so that I didn't have to, so that I would never ever take these things. The fact you have to legislate it immediately puts you on the back foot because I'm not going to trust you. Now, since there are all these legislations in place that you can't sue these guys, a lot of lawyers have gotten creative. Let's see. I'm going to choose my words carefully, so I'm just looking at this. Okay, so the long and short of it is that since these gene therapies were legislated and you got told, take them or else, people took these under duress and were misinformed. In that there were DNA sequences that were not published or disclosed. So you took these with misinformed consent. Okay, you have to be informed and play with a full deck of cards to legally give consent. So if they lie to you or omit information, that makes anything you do effectively under duress. And what lawyers are doing is they're trying to work around this legislation to saying you can't sue these biomedical firms. But they're going at it from a different way and saying effectively comes down to battery. That you were done harm to because you did not give consent. So they did stuff to you because you did not give informed consent. Do you understand? Do you guys follow this? So this is the lawyer logic that they're going under, and it does make sense. Non-consensual vaccination blackmail. Bingo. That's exactly what comes down. Yeah, that's exactly what comes down to non-consensual vaccination, and you were blackmailed into taking it. And honestly, I can see this is going to take a while to work through the courts and stuff, but we see we see the writing on the wall for this shit and stuff, and we know that's how it's going to turn out. Now, if any meaningful change is going to come from it, or people are going to get recompense for it, who knows? But this is a step in the right direction, and I'm all for it. The Chinese. TikTok part of CCP's cognitive warfare strategy against U.S. Representative Gallagher states. Okay, so Mike Gallagher, Republican, Wisconsin. Okay, I don't know if he believes what he's saying, or if he's just like going through the motions to please his voter base and stuff. But credit where credit's due. This is a step in the right direction. In that TikTok and its parent company, Dance Bite, is, no offense or buts, I've said this before, and I'll say it again from the rafters. Every company in China answers to the Chinese Communist Party of I almost said Canada, Freudian slip, of China. And TikTok, the Western version of this program, is specifically from the ground up, no offense or buts, built as a literal psyop. This is literally a Chinese psyop. If you look at the difference for like the Chinese version of TikTok versus the Western one, theirs is like all patriotism, science, military, rah rah rah, vote, the party can do no wrong, patriotism, blah blah blah. But if you look at the Western stuff, it's all degenerate shit. All these TikTok dances, all this tranny shit, all this all this divisive shit and stuff. But that's by design. Okay, they know how the system works, and of course, like the security agencies, like every security agency on the face of the planet, doesn't have TikTok on their phones for every goddamn reason, because they know what the fuck it is. Yeah, I'm getting dumber every time I see a TikTok too. Well, yeah, it's propaganda on the flip side, but it's all propaganda. But it's whether it's yours or theirs, it's kind of irrelevant stuff. But it does serve a purpose. Their propaganda towards themselves, brings them up, but the propaganda they use against us brings us down. Like, it is a weapon at the end of the day. That's all propaganda ever was, is a weapon. That is suggest TikTok taking directions from CPP. CCP. No fucking shit. And of course, the 2024 elections are coming up in the States and stuff, and that's going to be kind of funny for all this quote-unquote disinformation. I don't know. I think it's good that the American politicians are waking up. But whether they're actually waking up or just paying lip service to look good in an election, to an upcoming election cycle, I don't know. Doing the right thing for the wrong reasons, I'm okay with. So, baby steps. Okay, now I mentioned this earlier. How much do Americans trust the media? Spoiler alert, they don't. Okay. So, they start keeping track. They start keep like the poll, like they started polling people of trust in the media back in the 70s and stuff, and then there was a bit of a gap. There was a bit of a gap until the 90s and stuff. But back in the day, you only had a few channels, a few newspapers and stuff. There was a lot of trust in the media. Not so much as little trust and no trust at all. But then, as time went on, people had less trust in the media. As time went on, you had like different points, like Watergate scandal, whoop, bit of a drop. Bill Clinton impeached, bit of a drop. Invasion of Iraq, that was a big lie. Twitter, Donald Trump elected, and COVID pandemic, and it gets worse as time goes on. But we see this, we know this, because like these quote unquote journalists, they're not journalists anymore. They're propagandists. They're propagandists at best, and they're advocates for their little pet causes at worst. And we see this every day. Lack of faith in institutions and social media. Yep. Uh, Republicans have always trust the media less than Democrats. Makes sense. And yeah, this is not going to get any better. I can only imagine it getting worse as time goes on. Ooh, this one brought my pistol boil. The failure of Western feminism was most needed. We always make the joke of like, okay, all you feminists and in your little pink hats and your little parades and stuff. Okay, you want to fight for feminism and do good for women? Go over to Northern Africa and the Middle East and try that shit out there. No takers? What a surprise! This here is specifically for UK, but it applies to North America and other Western nations and stuff. In that, feminists in these organizations, doesn't matter which one, they always pay lip service to feminist causes and stuff. But the instant you have the problem of intersectionality slash the progressive stack that we are very familiar with over the years and stuff, when you have one protected group versus another, they have to start doing their math to figure out who's more oppressed. In this case, women always get the shaft because it comes against the face of Islam. It's like women's right, women's right, women's right. It's like, I'm Islamic. And it's like, oh, okay. Then they magically every time they immediately shut up when it comes to like honor killings, child marriages, rape, female genital mutilation, all this stuff. It magically goes out the window the instant the religion of peace comes up with these people. And more or less is just calling them out and stuff and blah blah blah. But it's sad to see because you have like women's shelters that won't, like, I've read reports of like women's shelters that won't take certain women in because their husbands will come in with his brothers and his buddies and commit honor killings and stuff. And this shit actually does happen in Canada. I've read a few reports of this happening and stuff. And that, like, one of the questions they'll ask you at a women's shelter in Canada is what denomination you're at, and if you're flagged as a potential violent issue, in that your husband will come and kill you and stuff, they won't take you in. And that shit is fucking infuriating. Fuck these people. Selectivism at its finest, yeah. Well, that's the reason why we joke about it. It's like, hey, you really want to help women? Go over there. See how far that gets you. Oh, this made my day when I read it. Jeff Bezos hires Elon Musk for rocket launches. Now, here's the backstory on this. Jeff Bezos also has a space company called Blue Origin. Now, here's the thing. Blue Origin answers to a board of directors and investors and stuff. And what Jeff Bezos did with the Blue Origin is that he promised more than what his company could cash, in that he promised all these payloads and deliveries and shit and stuff, but they're having a bunch of problems with the rockets and stuff. So, like, deadlines aren't met, and then, like, breach of contracts are getting paid out and stuff and shit like that there. And the board of directors pretty much went to Bezos and said, look, motherfucker, if we can't get this shit into space, for the sake of not nulling and voiding these, for not being in arrears of these contracts we have and stuff, you need to swallow your pride and go to Daddy Elon and use his rockets until ours get up to scratch. And that's what's happening. And that is fucking hilarious. I don't like Musk, but the fact Musk is like Trump. Musk is like Trump in that I don't like either of them and stuff, but they piss off the right people, and that amuses me. I don't know. I just find it seems very inconsequential because it's like billionaire versus billionaire having a slap fight, but it's just funny. I'm sorry, it's just funny. It's like the board of directors just telling, telling Jeff Bezos, like, motherfucker, we don't care. Honor the contracts. We're not going to pay out another failed contract. Use Elon's rockets, you motherfucker. It's glorious. Okay, here's a blast from the past. So, leftist hatred of Kyle Rittenhouse is boundless as he announces new book. Now, the long and short of this is that Kyle Rittenhouse is putting out a book to give his side of the story and stuff. We all know his side of the story. We all saw the videos and stuff. But here's the thing. All of his legislation against the media companies, the slander and stuff, effectively, all his legislation broke even and stuff. So he made his point, but he's not like rich or something or anything. And what the leftists are trying to do is they're trying to portray him as like, oh, he got rich off of these lawsuits and he's making more money with a book. Actually, no, he just broke even and stuff. He works a 9 to 5 job, and this book will just supplement what little income he has and stuff. Because pretty much almost no one will hire him because he's like a toxic asset and stuff. Like he got cleared. Like he won in the court of law and stuff. But like companies don't want to deal with him and stuff because of all the reading that would happen from like the clientele and shit. You know. So the fact he's putting out a tell-all book and stuff, I'm like, good for him and stuff. But the fact the leftists still consider him the devil because he went against them. Like he went against them. That's all there is to it and stuff. He is an enemy to the cult. And you know what? I hope his book does gangbusters. I know New York Times bestseller doesn't mean anything anymore, but I wish him the best. Surprised Alex Jones hasn't tried to hire him or even the Daily Wire. I know. My logic with this with that particular thought is that he just wants to keep he wants to just keep his head low and just lead a normal life. Good luck to that thought, and it's never really going to happen. But I wish him the best. The Dublin riots and Black Lives Matter, a comparison of reactions and stuff. Not too much about this. Not too much about this. It just kind of does a compare and contrast between the quote-unquote 2020 Summer of Love with the race riots in the States versus the riots happened in Ireland. The ones in the States being the race riots from the George Floyd, and the Irish one being from the attempted murder of women and children and shit, and how the media and the powers that be are using them in different manners and blah blah blah. Of course, our favorite meme of that time of fiery but mostly peaceful protest after police shooting and shit like that. I said it before and I'll say it again. The tide is turning. It's been long in coming, but the tide is coming and it's going to be hard. And I really don't know the ramifications we're going to have. It looks peaceful, all right. Shit, I remember watching this live. I remember when this was happening live. I laughed. I laughed so fucking hard. God. Like, there's no real starting point for Clown World. Clown World just magically appeared, and it's been ramping up. Ugh. Elon Musk versus Dark Forces. This is just going like a little like a few days ago. Elon Musk did a bit of an interview and stuff, and this was the presentation where he said, fuck the advertisers. And the long and short of this article is that Elon Musk is an opportunist. Whether or not he believes the bullshit that he's saying about, free speech on Twitter and fuck the advertisers and all that stuff, whether or not he really means what he says, in that he believes what he says, or if he's just riding the wave of change I mentioned, it's like whether or not he means it, or if he's just going with the flow of things and using it to benefit himself, is largely irrelevant and stuff. Because, like I say, he pisses off the wrong people, and even doing the right thing for the wrong reasons, I'm okay with. Like, I am okay with doing the right thing for the wrong reasons, and this is just more of that. And like him bullshitting like freedom or die on Twitter and stuff. Like, if that actually ends up coming to pass in the long term, then it's one of those things where you fake it until you make it, and I'm okay with that. Blah 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 blah. Need a little talking point. Okay. Back to religion and peace. Hammer wielding man shouting "Al Akbar" kills Paris tourist, wounds 2 more. Now, I think some of us, most of us, have heard this by now and stuff. There was a terrorist attack, right, like literally, like right a stone's throw away from the Eiffel Tower, and this fine, upstanding gentleman decided to make his continued existence on this planet everyone's problem, as the religion of peace is wont to do. And of course, it comes immediately after the Irish stabbings and stuff. And again, even in the middle of winter, it seems like things are a bit of a tinderbox right now. I'm kind of just waiting for things to pop off, and when they do, it's not going to be pretty. I like this little note at the end. Paris will host the 2024 Summer Olympiad in July and August, starting with an unusual and ambitious opening ceremony that will present unique challenges for counter-terrorism efforts. Unlike previous opening ceremonies, which take place within confines of a secured stadium, Paris will host a parade of boats along the Seine, with hopes of attracting some 600,000 spectators along miles of riverbanks. Look forward to next summer and there being like a pressure vessel explosion. I'm calling it right now. There's going to be a pressure vessel explosion attack at this, like the Boston Marathon bombing and stuff. Because like as cuck as France is, and you can't exactly buy dynamite off the shelf. I'm sure the religion of peace will either acquire some trucks or some pressure cookers. Calling it now. Okay, this article I agree with wholeheartedly. Just admit you're wrong. The long and short of this is that I'm expecting a military-grade explosion-resistant passport to appear. And they come and make over here somehow. Yeah. Okay, this one here is in relation to the COVID pandemic lockdowns and stuff, because we all saw the articles make the rounds of, oh, please forgive us for trying to control your lives and to tell you to go die and eat shit for not accepting the new cult marching orders and stuff. And here's the thing. These people, like the death cults, whether it's the climate death cult or the COVID death cult, doesn't matter. It's a death cult. And they are never wrong because they are true believers. They have drank the grape flavored flavor aid, and unfortunately the cyanide didn't do the job, and their continued existence is a problem we're going to have to continue to deal with. And they will never ever. I have yet to hear anyone that I've known that what's a nice way of saying this, called me a fucking nut when this here shit happened in 2020 and stuff, and then after the fact, after a few of them dropped dead from the vaccine, quote unquote vaccine and shit and stuff, I'm never going to get an apology from them. And you know what? Even if they did, I tell them to take a hike. It's like the true colors came. Here's the thing. Here's the best thing to come out of the pandemic. The true colors of people came out and stuff. It's like, okay, I know. It's like I know who not to trust anymore from this serious stuff. But even people who've wised up to how things are they ever gonna admit wrong? No, it's human nature to never admit you're wrong, especially when it comes to a cult. But here's the thing: we have to. Uh, I hate to make this comparison, but never again. Like we can't let them weasel their way out of this. Never forgive, never forget. Me, I'm a live and let live and stuff, but here's the thing and stuff. I have never trusted the government. The government does not have my best interests in mind. And I have a background in biology. So when the quote unquote vaccines came out and stuff, I knew they were gene therapies and stuff, and they were untested, experimental, and legislated gene therapies and stuff. So of course I said no, and I told everyone who would listen, it's like, don't do it, you're going to regret it and stuff. And we're seeing the results of that now. But to each their own. I'm not going to hold it. I'm not going to hold it against you if you're five jabs in, and if you're legally required to do so. I'm not going to hold it against you. Shit happens. Water. Jeff Ubman's socially responsible inclusive capital is winding down just after 3 years. Okay, so the long and short of this one here is the ESG scores and the ESG baskets of financial investments and stuff. So all these green technologies, all these different financial baskets of ESG is already starting to wear out and stuff. Like we covered this before. Kershey's talked about this before and stuff. The momentum for this here shit and stuff is failing, and it's failing hard. And a bunch of major investors who kind of went all in on this here stuff are having immediate regrets right now. And they're telling anyone who will listen about their regrets of buying this bullshit. Now, much like anything else anything else that's big and has momentum, it's going to take a while for it to die down or for them to pivot to a new line of bullshit. The new bullshit's coming. There's always new bullshit in the pipeline stuff, but it's going to take a while to roll out. Until then, we're still going to have to deal with the old bullshit that is ESG. And if anyone watches Kershey's playthrough of Alan Woke 2 and stuff, know that there's going to be a bit of a lag time before we see any change of them dropping that shit. As far as, like, for example, game development times and stuff, there's going to be a bit of a lag before we start seeing this year shit fall on its face. Like, we covered the other day of Disney losing massive amount of valuations and profits from their latest woke ESG movie ventures and stuff. So this here brand of bullshit is failing, but it's going to take a little while for reality to catch up. But I'm all for it, and I'm patient, if nothing else. Germany infiltrated by economic migrants abusing an asylum system, claims country's former top judge. I like this guy. So the long and short of this one is that this judge officiated a bunch of migrant cases and stuff, and he saw the system fail because like these are people who don't want to integrate, and are just there to get a handout and cause shit and stuff. And since he's effectively like retired and shit and stuff, and he doesn't care because he doesn't answer to anyone right now, so he's just speaking his mind. It's like, look, you idiots and stuff. They're abusing the system, and the system was made to be abused. So shit needs to change, or else there's not going to be Germany left. But whether or not it's too little, too late, remains to be seen. Infiltration was a generous way of putting it. Yeah, yeah, but the fact, like, I know he's not gonna go full out and call him what we would call him and stuff. But here's the thing: the fact of the matter is, things are pivoting. It's not going to happen overnight, and it's going to take a little bit of time. But little by little, people like this judge and other people are finally just saying, no, this cannot go on any longer. This was wrong to start off with and stuff. But hopefully it's not too little too late. So any little thing like this guy saying fuck off, get the fuck out of Germany, go back where you came from. The system has failed. Even just one guy. Then it'll be 2 guys and 3 guys and 4 guys. Every little step towards the right direction, I'm all for. And I like pointing out that, like, this is like, here's my white pill, like one of my white pills for today. It's like there's a head judge in Germany who's saying no more, and I'm all for it. Oh god, this guy. Okay. That guy is American. Okay. King Charles delivers highly politicized speech to support collectivist net zero project. I have never liked Charles. I've always known Charles to be a bit of a dunce and stuff, and he's just parroting the globalist talking point. Like he's always been Charles has always been a globalist cheerleader. And him giving a speech at the COP28 about blah blah blah, like blah blah blah, restoration of nature, blah blah blah, need for sustainable agriculture, blah blah blah, cooperation between public and private sectors. It's just like Charles is a placeholder, yeah. Oh yeah, no, great, yeah. I know, I get it and stuff. Like there were a lot of incentives and schemes and stuff. Like, there were a bunch of carrots and there were a bunch of sticks when it came to the vaccine mandates. Like I get it, I understand. It sucks, but yeah, yeah, yeah. Next. Okay, this is an infuriating one. Number of kids put on puberty blockers doubles despite the National Health Service promising to stop. So I remember the initial report when the people say they were going to tap the brakes on this trans crap in the UK and stuff. Surprise, it didn't. And now it's actually coming out that the fuck is a puberty blocker? Pretty much what a puberty blocker is. It's a hormone. It's a chemical cocktail that causes uh, the blockage of puberty hormones. Like I take beta blockers to for my Marfans and stuff, and what those do is they block my heart from getting hormones to say beat harder. In the puberty blocker case, it's you take medicine, uh, and it blocks the your brain from producing the hormones that would promote uh, puberty. And long and short of it is, you can't stop puberty, and what you're doing is causing harm to the kid. Tiny PP pills, yeah, pretty much. Something like hormone replacement therapy, yeah. Like, okay, here's a TLDR. Here's a TLDR when it comes to hormone medication stuff. You have two things you can do for hormones. You can either increase production of hormones, or you can cut down on production of hormones. You can never fully stop, you can never fully stop hormones. You can either turn them up or you can turn them down and stuff. And usually, in most cases, for hormone replacement therapy, for hormone replacement therapy specifically, what you're trying to do is balance out to a normal level. Like, say, for example, you have a condition where like a hormone's out of whack, like you have too much of a hormone. You'll take hormone replacement therapy. You'll take a medication to like bring it down. Or on the flip side, if you have like a hormone condition where like a hormone's too low, you'll take a medication to bring it up. But in this, for this particular case, puberty blockers, what they do is they really, really, really hamper the production of certain hormones, like human growth hormones, one, like progesterone and estrogen in females, testosterone in men, and stuff. You can do a lot of damage because during puberty, like the hormones are activated and doing their work. And if you stop that work, you're going to cause long lasting harm, up to and including cancer, because your body gets thrown immediately out of whack and it never recovers. So of course, all this tranny shit comes out in the wash. It's like, yes, assigning kids puberty blockers who don't need them. Spoiler: you never need them. And giving it to kids is fucking them up. No goddamn shit. Of course, it's fucking them up. But here's the thing: they're not able to hide like the damage they're doing, because a lot, I mean a lot of legislation is working through its way in the court systems, like around the world, like everywhere. You're hearing cases of like kids becoming adults and saying like it's like, I was fed this bullshit by my doctors and my quote unquote therapists and stuff, that like I wasn't a boy, I was actually a girl, and vice versa and shit like that. There, and when they get older, and it's like, oh god, these quote unquote doctors enabled massive amounts of damage to occur to me, and now I'm going to legislate, I'm going to sue them for medical malpractice and shit like that. And it's heartbreaking for it to come to that, but that's what it's come down to, is that all these kids are now grown up and realize they made a horrible, horrible mistake. But it was again, it's a case of misinformed consent. It's like you get a 5-year-old kid saying, I want to be a dinosaur. Nowadays, the doctor is probably going to do his darndest to turn him into a T-Rex. That's not how this shit works. It's like little Timmy saying, like, I want to be little Tammy. It's like, no, little Timmy. No. They're not telling these kids no, and they're allowing them, like, especially some of these parents are using them for virtue signal points. It's like, it's like, it's not fashionable for kids to be gay now. They have to be trans. And it's infuriating, because this, at the end of the day, is child abuse. Clown World is entertaining in certain regards, but it's soul crushing in others. This is just more of the inmate who shanked Derek Chauvin 20 times, 2 times, former FBI informant who led Mexican mafia faction and stuff. Just more the same from previously mentioned and stuff. Just a few more details. We already covered that. Also, I already mentioned this. Private jets headed to global warming conference, literally frozen in runway. Like we seen the pictures. It's still kind of funny. Munich, Germany, by the way. Uh, yeah, I already saw most of that. Okay, here's a glow one. Here's a lovely glow one. January 6th committee tapes have disappeared, says House Republican. This shit glows, and they're not fooling anyone. Now, all the tapes they had, okay, all these tapes in question, the tapes that are missing in question, were used as part of a committee presentation to the Senate and stuff. And anything that gets presented to the Senate or Congress is a anything that gets presented is a matter of national records. Like anything that gets presented gets archived as a legal, they're legally required to maintain and preserve anything that's presented to Congress or the Senate and stuff. So all these tapes they use to put all the January 6th people in jail and stuff like that. They were required by law to maintain all of those records, and just magically, a lot of this shit is gone. Now, I'm not saying it glows, but I'm saying it glows. And they're not fooling anyone. They're not still fooling anyone with Epstein. They're not fooling anyone with the cop getting shanked and stuff. And they're not fooling anyone with us here. It's like whoopsie doodle. All this information that makes us look bad is suddenly gone. Oh, what a fucking surprise! It's a mystery to everyone. It further claimed that he was abusing his authority by trying to get information that was available through other channels violating the Federal Rule of Criminal Procedure 17. Like, like all these lawyers and like the other politicians are like asking for this stuff, and it's like, oh, we lost it. It's like, oh, we got rid of it. It wasn't important, motherfucker. It was important. You used it, and you presented this information as if it was like be all end all for shit. And just because you're eating crow right now doesn't mean you can like upend the table and go home. That's not how this shit works. But apparently everything's just gone, just poof, gone. Fuck these people. Oh god, this one. Okay. Tyrannosaurus Rex, the activist academics queering dinosaurs. Okay, so one of these people is the social account holder, like what's the word I'm looking for? Like the media representative, the social media wrangler, whatever. Like the person behind the Sue the T-Rex Twitter account. For those who don't know, the largest, most complete Tyrannosaurus Rex skeleton is known as Sue. And they're doing stupid shit like this, saying that, oh, this dinosaur is actually a trans and goes by they them pronouns. Like Like, seriously, like, this pile of bones of a dinosaur is going by they, them because of some rainbow haired liberal arts major running the goddamn Twitter account. But here's the thing. They're not just running the Twitter account. Apparently, the museum and curators and stuff are reciprocating this here shit and stuff. So, for example, if you were to go to the Smithsonian or the Chicago Field Museum or wherever, if you were to go where the Sue the T-Rex museum display is at and stuff, and ask the curator and stuff, the curator will answer you. It's like, oh, it's this dinosaur is they them. Okay, Trannysaurus Rex, literally Trannysaurus Rex. It's so fucking stupid. And just going on and on. Okay, another neat little point. Okay, so the the chick who discovered an ichthyosaur, ichthyosaurs being the marine reptiles that look like dolphins. She discovered them back in the day, but her shtick is that she never got married, and apparently she was quote unquote really good friends with another girl in town. And the Alphabet Soup Mafia conflate her with being a rah rah lesbian power rah 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 and stuff. So the Tyrannosaurus Rex, like the Alphabet Soup ifying of like dinosaurs in the quote unquote the scientific community and all that shit and stuff. Effectively, this is not new. Like I remember reading them trying to girl power lesbian this chick a while back and stuff. But like the Sooth dinosaur being a tranny now, that's just come on, leave the dinosaur alone. The dinosaur is dead. Leave it alone. And of course, anytime someone speaks up about this here stuff, you'll get you're going against the cult, so you'll get unperson and all that shit and stuff. It's just so fucking tiring and it's so fucking stupid. I mean, seriously. They, them. They, them. This article legitimately pisses me off. I mean, for fuck's sakes. Sue the T-Rex. The most famous dinosaur skeleton of all time. Literally Sue the T-Rex. Fuck off. Leave her alone. And yes, it's a her. Leave her alone. Fuck. I hate these people. Okay. All right. This will give me good feelings. Okay. So everyone remember Jussie Smollett? Hate crime hoaxer Jussie Smollett headed back to jail after failed appeal. This motherfucker, he did a fake hate crime. He got caught, and he went to appeal. His appeal got denied. Denied, motherfucker. Denied. Back to jail you go. That's all there is to it. This fucker's back in jail. Well, okay, he never left jail, but his appeal failed. Fuck him. Yeah, Mr. MAGA country, that guy. An update on a name we haven't heard from in a while, if you will. Okay. Oh god, this. Okay. New video reveals McDonald's secret spin-off restaurant called Cosmix. Now, what this is apparently McDonald's is running a test restaurant of just McCafe. So, no burgers and fries and shit, just the coffee and stuff. And they're calling it Cosmix, which I consider kind of funny because Cosmic was a character from back in the 80s and 90s and stuff. Like one of the Ronald McDonald characters and stuff. It was the space alien character was called Cosmic. So McSubway, yeah, pretty much. So they're calling their coffee spin-off brand after an old McDonald's character, and I find this kind of weird. Like It's like the fact they're spinning off a restaurant for just coffee and stuff. It doesn't surprise me. Yeah, yeah, that's why. Yeah, like trying to elbow in the Starbucks market share. How much market share there is left as far as the fast food coffee thing goes? Who the fuck knows? Who the fuck knows? I just find it interesting. Who knows if it pans out? I just think it's something. Next, okay, back to geopolitics. So Latin America on edge as Venezuela's Maduro holds a referendum whether to invade oil-rich neighbor Guyana. Now, the long and short of this one is that Venezuela is trying to do what Putin did in Ukraine and do a land grab. In this case, it's less for ethnic political reasons, and this year is more of a open and close shut case of resources. Uh, there's a lot of and there's a lot of proven reserves, especially offshore for oil and gas. Like, and so Venezuela wants a piece of that pie, and quote unquote, they want to vote their way in. It's not going to happen. So next up is going to be them invading Guyana and taking over the oil fields and shit. I don't know how much of a hotspot this is going to become, but it's kind of the long and short of it is that it's interesting to see that the 20th century has come back in full force. Now, what I mean by this is that the empire building times have come again. Russia, the United States has been doing this shit for a long time now, but Russia is getting in on a deal with the Ukraine. China is going to pop off eventually with Taiwan. But then you have stuff like Venezuela. Venezuela is looking at Guyana and drilling at the precious, glorious resources they have. The Monroe Doctrine clearly no longer applies. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Shit do be wild. Shit do be wild. Bill Ackman points out inconvenient truth of unfair treatment by advertisers. Okay. The long and short of this one here is more of the Elon Musk fuck the advertisers thing and stuff. In that even though the advertisers pull out of Twitter, pull out their advertising in Twitter and stuff, Twitter still has the largest market share as far as advertising, like eyeballs goes and stuff, and they'll him and ha about Twitter being like misinformation and all blah 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 going on and stuff, but they'll be perfectly fine with going on like Facebook, and Facebook and Instagram have literal commercials for literal pedophiles with literal pornography and stuff. So as much as these advertising companies want to virtue signal and stuff, it's virtue signaling. It doesn't mean anything and stuff. So I don't know, it's just more of the same for that. UK Health Secretary head admits use of face mask was never evidence based. I don't know. We've all heard this stuff to death at this point. And stuff. It's like 2 weeks to flatten the curve, save granny, wear a mask. Again, much like how it was never about climate for the climate cult. It's not. It was never about health for the health cult. It was all it ever was for control, and getting people to comply with the mask stuff. It was just about control. That's all it comes down to. Oh, hey, Ira's mask up here, and it was so stupid. Yeah, yeah. But in lighter news, okay, so parents of the 9-year-old Chiefs fan threatened to sue media outlet Deadspin over blackface claim. Now, I'm not surprised that this is actually going to go forward and stuff, but again, this is the only language these motherfuckers listen to, is that when you have to hit their pocketbook. That's the only language they'll understand. Like, the bully will keep bullying you until you punch him between the eyes. You know, they'll never stop being a bully, but they'll stop being a bully against you. And much like Kyle Rittenhouse, I'm glad that the lawsuit's going to go through for this kid and stuff, because we covered this before. Like the Deadspin journalist guy tried to get him, and it's like, oh, he's wearing blackface. Oh, he's wearing redface too. Oh, it actually turned out he's part native. Whoops. Well, tough shit. You slandered this kid to hell and back to make him seem like the great Satan and stuff, so you're going to eat shit in court. Deal with it. Okay, I just mentioned this on the previous Elon one. Walmart pulled their advertising from X. Maybe they're just going to focus on all their energy on sponsoring grooming events for children. Walmart is a major sponsor and promoter of Pride. I will not shop there anymore. There are plenty of great alternatives. We should not give these anti-free speech pro-grooming companies our money. And but again, all these companies do is virtual signal and stuff. They'll virtual signal about Twitter being a space of hatred and blah 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 blah. But again, go on Facebook and Instagram and advertise there to literal porn and pedophiles. It's like, fuck off. Yeah, let's see if there's been any updates to my feed. Fuck these guys. COP28 president. There is no science behind calls for fossil fuel phase out. Fuck you. Fuck you and the horse you rode in on. God, I hate these people. There is no science out there, no scenario out there that says the phase out of fossil fuel is what's going to achieve 1.5 degrees Celsius. No fucking shit. Hey, Jimmy. Look at this smug little fucker. Look at this smug little fucker. So fucking smug. Fuck this guy. Okay, I like this line. Additionally, the Guardian newspaper published video from the call on Sunday, which included Al Jaber off camera sounding increasingly frustrated, at one point telling 3 leading women involved with climate change and gender, I am telling you, I am the man in charge. Okay, he's a smug asshole, but he's a patriarchal asshole. Okay. Oh God, I love this shit. Oh my God. Blah blah blah. Last week, Algebra denied reports of plans to use the climate summit in Dubai to push oil deals. Bull fucking shit. They're doing a climate. They're doing, like, all these rich elites are doing a quote unquote climate summit in fucking Dubai. Of course, they're there to wheel and deal oil and gas projects. Of course, they got to line their pocketbooks. Fuck these guys. Oh God. Okay, that's interesting. From Libs of TikTok. Breaking. State Department spokesman Matthew Miller says the reason Hamas didn't want to release women And the reason this pause fell apart is because Hamas didn't want those women to be able to talk about what happened to them. Load. Then what happened to them? This comes one day after Representative Jepel said that we need a balanced approach when discussing the sexual violence and rape against Jewish women and girls on October 7th while in captivity. Okay, I like that this hashtag actually has been trending. Me too, unless you're a Jew. Which is kind of funny going back to the feminist talking points and stuff. It's kind of funny how feminism immediately goes out the window once the religion of peace is involved. In this case, it's like, it's really kind of funny that the terrorists who took a bunch of women and children hostage suddenly don't want to release them back for them going to talk about all the fucking rape that happened to them. Funny how that works. Funny how that works. Woof. Fuck you, Liz Cheney. From libs of TikTok, a group of mostly military-aged Chinese nationals entering our country illegally through Sutton border in California. This is a planned invasion. Yeah, it's just more or less the same. The either using migrants to destabilize a place, or actually using the migrants as cover to insert your psyops guys, your little green men behind the borders to cause psychological and like damage and stuff. Yep, not surprised. Not surprised at all. This picture of the private jet being weighed down by snow and ice will never get old. Majority of Venezuelans vote to next oil-rich region of Guyana. No fucking shit, of course. It's like, we had a 97% turnout and everyone voted yes. What a fucking surprise. Did they really turn up? Yes, I'm sure that was a free election, much like the American one, or the Chinese one, or the Russian ones. Okay, that's kind of neat. Breaking: Dutch human rights lawyers seek court order to stop the Netherlands from exporting F-35 jet parts to Israel. Huh. It seems that Europe is not all harmonious with God's chosen country. Interesting. Part of me wants to be an asshole and send a message to whiskey, but that would be mean. I like whiskey. I'm not going to be mean. Oh, Elon, what are you saying? Elon Musk: Disney is world's biggest example of go woke, go broke. He's not wrong. Elon Musk has hit out at Disney again after company pull ads from X. We saw that, calling the company's output unwatchable because of how woke it attempting to be. Yes, Wish has failed. Marvels has failed. A bunch of other ones have failed. Yep, I'm on board with that. Yeah, more of what we already know. I am sorry, what? Kangaroo on the loose in Ontario finally caught. Officer punched during capture. Oh, global news, I hate you, but I'm on board for this year. I'm going to read this in its entirety because it sounds glorious. Durham Regional Police say female kangaroo that had been on the loose for 3 days was finally captured by officers and handlers on Monday, although one officer was struck in the face by the marsupial. Staff Sergeant Chris Boylio said two officers on patrol spotted the missing kangaroo at around 3 a.m. on Monday and then communicated her whereabouts to his handlers. These officers were briefed on the safe capture techniques for kangaroos. Police said, adding, fun fact, the safest way to capture a kangaroo is to grab it by its tail. Boyle said officers were able to keep eyes on the kangaroo until handlers arrived and successfully apprehended her between 6 a.m. and 7 a.m. near Winchester Road East and Harmony Road north of Oshawa. During the capture, Boyle said one officer was able to sneak up behind the kangaroo and grab her by the tail. One our officers was punched in the face by it, but he'll be okay. Others said the kangaroo was then transported to the Oshawa Zoo in one of their canine kennels. I assume probably one of their canine cars or vans, I guess. The kangaroo was then checked out by zoo staff and appeared uninjured, a police officer said. There she is, right in the driveway. Go girl. Several videos posted online show what appears to be a kangaroo standing at the end of a driveway and another showing it hopping along the grass line beside the road. Durham police said over the weekend while they were not involved in the hunt for the animal Friday, they knew where it came from. A driver delivering two kangaroos to Quebec on Thursday had stopped at the Oshawa Zoo to let them stretch their legs. This is when the kangaroo allegedly made his escape. Police said in their update on Monday that her adventure had come to an end and she will continue on with her journey to Quebec in the near future. Officers rescue kangaroo on Rue Line patrol in response to reported kangaroo sighting in Winchester Road East and Harmony Road North. Area officers were deployed for the rescue mission. Okay. Oh god. Mount Merapi erupts in Indonesia. I remember there being a big earthquake a few days ago in Indonesia. So the fact the volcanoes popping off doesn't surprise me. A couple decades worth of man-made CO2 emissions there in that image, but it won't get mentioned in COP28. It's fucking true. Oh shit. Don't get me wrong, natural disaster, but I hope no one gets hurt and all that stuff. But ugh. Look at it blow. Look at it. Run, bitch, run. And I'm caught up where I read my news. Boop. Well, that's about all I got. A big stretch. I don't know. Anyone up to anything over the last couple days? Middle of goddamn winter, so I'm not doing too much other than play video games and watch VTubers. Pippa being on vacation this week because her parents are visiting. That's gonna take a bit of edge off. And gestating mostly. Yep, that's about all I'm doing. Gestating. Monday, so Kirsty's not streaming today. Same, I'm watching movies from the backlog. I really should be chopping away at my TV and movie backlog, but I just don't care right now. Other than the fact that I want fucking there be a torrent for Godzilla -1. I want to watch that so bad. For those of you who don't know, on the Kiwi Farms there is a Godzilla thread, and I do post there quite a bit and stuff. And everyone except for one asshole. Everyone except for one asshole is saying that Godzilla -1 is like the best Godzilla they've seen in years and stuff, and I'm just itching to watch it. I know Pipkin, I know there's a cam coming soon. There's always a cam coming soon, but I want the cam now. Now. God, I want to watch it so bad. And also there was a new trailer. There's a new trailer released for Kong X Godzilla New Empire. I'm okay with New Empire. Like I know it's going to be evil Kong tribe versus good Kong tribe as far as backstory goes. It's Godzilla and Kong tag teaming another monster. I'm all for it. I'm looking forward to the new legendary Godzilla coming out soon too. But that being said, that's not going to be coming out for a while, and Godzilla -1 is out now. God, I want to see it so bad. It's fun, Godzilla. Yeah, that's the thing. I agree. I am in consensus with the Godzilla thread that now is a very good time to be a Godzilla fan, because if you want the standalone serious quote unquote serious Godzilla movie, Toho is doing that. Shin Godzilla and Godzilla -1 are standalone quote unquote serious Godzilla movies. And if you want your fun Showa era like monster slugfest and over the top stuff, then the legendary Godzilla, like the MonsterVerse is fine too. So you like, this is like a good time to be Godzilla, like a giant monster fan in general, just a giant monster fan in general. Now is a good time because there's so many options, and like Gamera, the Gamera reboot, I think is out soon too. Yeah, two Godzillas back to back. Yeah, like I haven't been this, like, honestly, I haven't been this spoiled since the '90s, like the Heisei like era. Like I haven't been this spoiled since then. It's great. I love it. Yeah, Godzilla versus Kong, Mecha, like yeah, versus like the last legendary one was pretty okay. May or may not get the Monster vs. Godzilla higher figure soon. One soon too much, yeah. Yeah. With finances, my finances being what they are and stuff, I kind of tapped the brakes on figure collecting years ago and stuff. And even when I get back up and going, I'm probably not going to get back into it and stuff because they're nice to look at and stuff. And don't get me wrong, my figures have appreciated in value and stuff, but it's just like, they eat up space. I have my favorites. Eh, I got it out of my system now. It's kind of like with conventions and stuff. Like for years I went to like Calgary Expo and like the Fan Expo in Toronto and stuff. Like I went to cons for years and stuff, but after it got to a point where it's like I got nothing else to do. It's out of my system. I'm good. And it's kind of the same thing with figures now. It's like, I kind of outgrown it. Wish they added Jet Jaguar. Hey, Pipkin, if you uh, the Godzilla anime, not the movie trilogy, but the anime series, Godzilla Singular Point has Jet Jaguar. If you want your Jet Jaguar fix, so just torrent up Godzilla Singular Point, the anime. It's a CG anime and stuff, but whatever, it's fine. That has Jet Jaguar. If you want your Jet Jaguar fix, scratch. No, I think it came out a year ago. I'll post the thing. Let's see. Godzilla. The CG, the CG is not that bad. It's really not. Copy link. Paste into Discord. It's actually Godzilla Singular Point is actually not that bad. Actually, bring it up on capture. Yeah, it's CG, but it's not that bad. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine, but you need a PhD for it. No, you don't need a PhD for it. Okay, I will go. I will complain about the Singular Point being Doctor Who level wibbly wobbly timey wimey stable time loop string theory blah 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 physics science bullshit and stuff self ordained. Okay, here's the thing: the Godzilla anime Singular Point. It's it is the best anime depiction of Godzilla from the Showa era. So if you want over the top insane bullshit, this is your bag. It's not like dark and serious and stuff. No, it is a Showa feel like a Showa feeling kind of Godzilla media. It's fine. It's fine as long as you keep that in mind going into it and stuff. I liked it. It was comfy. No, I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. I'm not going to ruin it for you. I'm not going to spoil it and stuff. But it does get kind of stupid for the wibbly wobbly timey wimey shit. Just know that going in, you're going to have some bullshit. But it's fine. It's fine for nothing else that has Jet Jaguar. Jet Jaguar is its own character in the series, and I was on board with it. Yeah, Godzilla's breath weapon this year was pretty good too. Like I know Godzilla's breath weapon in -1 is literally less a beam and more just like a poof nuke. So I'm looking forward to that destruction scene. What else? I kind of just want to kill the next 10 minutes and just make it an even 2 hours. I got nothing. I got nothing. I can bitch about my bowels, but no one wants to hear that. Let's see if there's any updates. Somebody followed me. Okay. No, Tennessee. Looks Pippa's posting on roommate account. Burbs. I'm going through great shit and bad shit. The whiplash got me like. I have a feeling that the how do I put this nicely? I have a feeling that Pippa's the rose tinted glasses of seeing her parents again after a few years is wearing off in hurry. Not surprised. Not surprised at all. Oop. I'm gonna refresh all my torrent pages. Come on, Godzilla. Nope. 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 God damn it. All the latest torrents are Godzilla versus King Kong. It's like, damn it. I want -1. Ow. No one's streaming on Twitter right now. Oh yeah. Well, I do remember reading that some of the I do remember reading that some of the showings are subtitled. So I don't think they'd have to add at times. Like if as long as someone goes to one of the showings with the Japanese language and English subtitles and stuff, as long as someone can put out a cam of that there, I'd be happy. Well, that's a thing though. But I know some of these showings, like I know a majority of these showings, at least in Canada, are Japanese with English subtitles and stuff. So all it will take is just one guy with a cam, just making sure make sure the subtitles are in frame. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Yeah, it is a limited release in North America. Like I do have checked a couple of Reddit threads and a couple of websites that are tracking theaters that are showing Godzilla -1. Like for example, like like literally the nearest one to me is all the way down in Toronto, and I'm not going all the way down to Toronto to watch a movie. Like I'm sure it's having a bunch more releases in America because you guys are the larger market and stuff. But fake fan, Pipkin, I'm not driving 10 hours in the middle of the goddamn winter, Canada winter. Canada winter. No, I'm not going down to 400 in Canada winter. I want to live. I love Godzilla, but I want to live. Live, damn it. Yep, I got nothing else. It's close enough. It's close enough to 2 hours. I'm just going to call it here. So thanks for coming. I hope everyone had a good time. I hope everyone has a good rest of their day. And take care and take it easy. Later.